up, everyone? What's good, HBAR? Hope everyone's doing well. Just setting up the studio here on desktop so we can screen share and start the show here. I'm going to start the space as well. Give me 1 second, and the space will get started as well. Let's get this show started, y'all. There's a lot of news to cover. Per usual, welcome to episode 228 of the HBAR Daily Show. Best way to show some support is to like and retweet the show. Here today, just fired up the space. What's up, everyone? Shout out to everyone listening to the recording as well. Those of you guys that tune in every single day, staying up to date with the latest news and alpha in the ecosystem. I'm about to share my screen here. Shout out to everyone. Again, if you are on the spaces, feel free to jump on the broadcast. I'm about to share the link if you want to follow along and tune into my screen as well. Give me 1 second to pull up the broadcast as well. And then if you are in our alpha chat, you should already have access to the link to come up to speak. If you don't have access to the link, all you got to do is head over to my bio and click on the link in the bio where the website shows. I'll show you guys right now in a second once the page loads. Let's share my screen to my personal profile. All right, let's see how it looks. Looks good. All right, it should start with YUKZH. That link is good. If you're on desktop, if you're on mobile, works the same. You are able to jump up on the studio with me, and I am allowed to bring each one of you up as long as you hit that link and request to come up to speak. And of course, if you are on the spaces, shout out to you. You're welcome to come up and speak as well. All you got to do is hit that button on the bottom left to come up to speak as well. And then, like I said, all you got to do is hit this link. It does change every single day, so all you got to do is hit it to join us here today. Let's turn the music off and let's get the show started. I hope you guys are all doing well on this amazing Wednesday here. It's great to share it with you all. Don't forget to like and retweet. The show also is sponsored by Gilmore Estates. Massive shout out. It should be on the banner at the bottom. Tokenizing real estate here on Hedera. They also have a token called GC. Go check out what they are doing. Having some novel use case on Hedera. Go shoot them a follow as well at Gilmore, GILMORE_estates. And as I said before, they have a token called GC as well. Go check out what they are working on hooking up here in Hedera. All right, let's jump into the show. Again, if you guys are not in the HBAR Daily Show community, it's a brand new community. We're still adding, bringing in new HBAR community members that are active. So in the hashtag HBAR at Hashgraph Trenches every single day with IPEX at 5 p.m. EST, the place to be in Web3. You guys know how it goes. Make sure to go join it. There's alpha news that I'll be sharing every couple days, every week or so. You guys will be able to participate in votes, right? See the latest content, right? That is going to be hopefully trending in Hedera. And of course, the latest shows as well in the ecosystem. Again, it's a brand new community. So a lot of you guys are just joining in. Again, it's free, it's public. All you got to do is just click on it and request to join. I believe you can just join automatically. We're still bringing in newer and newer members, and all you have to do is be active in Hedera, of course. So shout out to everyone, all 57 of you that have joined so far. Maybe we'll do a giveaway or something once we hit 100, the first 100 members. So you want to be in that first 100 members. I haven't decided exactly how I want to go about it, but I'll share more once we get closer to 100 members in our community there. I appreciate all of you guys that are tuning in every single day as well. All right. There is plenty of news. Of course, pretty much all of you guys have heard by now, I would assume so, of Swirls Labs rebranding to Hashgraph, right? And of course, there's much, much more that we will be covering here today. So let's jump into it. Again, feel free to request to come up. The link is in my bio. Let me show you guys one more time. If any of you at any point want to request to come up in general in the future, all you got to do, or today, all you got to do is hit this link. It'll put you up on the studio in the backstage, and I am able to let you jump up here today. All right, let's jump into the news. Man, there is a lot to cover here today. I'm gonna give you guys my honest take on this new updated brand, right? Hashgraph, right, from Swirls. So let's just kind of put it all out there. Let's make it super straightforward, right? So Hashgraph, this isn't Hedera only, right? It's supporting Hedera, right? This is what Swirls was. I don't know the exact reasoning apart from just easier to pronounce, easier to say, right? People don't really know how to transliterate Swirls, right? And so on, right? But the logo, I mean, it's an H technically, right? And it's obviously some form of the Hashgraph, whatever. But I mean, just at a glance, I mean, I wouldn't think. Obviously, they could make it look better. That's just my personal take, right? Whatever this, the way it looks currently, it looks kind of like poorly cropped, and also it's probably X, right? X reduces the quality, and I get it, right? But just at a glance, it doesn't look like a I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe. It just doesn't look super clean. Arguably, that's just my personal take. I think it could be done a little bit differently. Again, that's just my personal take. I think everyone has a right to share their honest opinions, of course. But yeah, so I'm gonna share more though because I think it is very interesting. I think some people had mixed feelings on just the idea of it, but I do believe moving forward as Hashgraph with instead of Swirls in particular, could and ought to be a pretty strong move for our ecosystem. So we're going to talk about it. You guys have any ideas as to how you feel about this? Maybe you're just hearing about it as well. Maybe you got to do some research. I'll pull up the new Hashgraph website as well. It seems to be pretty brand new. I'll show you guys it pretty soon as well. But again, if you have any ideas, any takes on this, feel free to use the live chat feature on the broadcast. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll pin some comments up in the stream as well. It'll look like this, basically like that, right? So go ahead, feel free to comment here. So Coinman, I'll just kind of read some of these before I start jumping into what I'm seeing, right? What I think. So Swirls, of course, is rebranding to the Hashgraph. And before I jump into the show again, shout out to everyone tuning in here today. Don't forget to like and retweet. It's the best way to show your support to the content that we create. If you find any value, of course, out of the content we are creating here, your support goes a long way in pushing our show forward. And of course, making it better every single day. And to make sure you join our community as well for free. And it's public on my link is in my bio as well. All right, let's jump into the show, y'all. So here's maybe we'll show you a little bit of the clip. Let me see. Let me see what it'll show first of all. Okay. Let me just pause that. I think I might as well show you guys the YouTube one. Why don't we? All right. Let me share the screen. I guess for those of you guys that haven't seen it yet, where's the audio? Okay, you guys should be able to see it as I am about to reshare my screen. Swirls Lab is now Hedera. Okay, you should be able to hear it. I'm about to restart it.
Share some really exciting news. Swirls Labs is changing its name to Hashgraph.
So you guys can see, of course, the new logo. So a lot of the logos I have seen have this white in it, right? So it has like this outline. So technically, this isn't the logo; it's the border, right, of all the different shapes. So it's interesting, right? Like at a glance, I mean, if this is the new Hedera logo, I mean that would be interesting as well. I don't think it's going to be, but just it's interesting, right? I don't. I don't know. I mean, this is not the symbol that I saw before on the X logo. Let me find it really quick. It's not the I guess it is the symbol, but it's inverted, right? So this is what it looks like with the black background with the white, right? And then this is what it's going to look like, the inverse of that, right? Which I think this looks better personally. With you could just kind of see it's more spherical. I know some people earlier were talking about how is it just this symbol or is this included? I do think, and this is getting into the details stuff, but of course I do believe it's going to be this with the outer edge as well. I think it makes a lot of sense for this to be the actual symbol moving forward for what Swirls is becoming. Let's see, I don't hear Matt's. Not sure why that is. Let me reconnect it. Give me 1 second. The moment you switch screens, I think it disconnects the audio. So let me make sure there's audio. There you go. Let's rewind it. Start it. So if this is your guys' first time, you don't know who Mance is, of course, one of the co-founders of Hedera, originally moved to Swirls, which is now Hashgraph.
Developing decentralized apps on top of the Hedera network. The ethos of a public network is that it should evolve and grow on its own over time and not be steered by a select group of a few people. So for that reason, in May of 2022, we left Hedera, Lehman and I, to found Swirls Labs. And we did this with the explicit goal of establishing a standalone company that would not only support the Hedera network's software development, but also contribute independently to the Hedera ecosystem with new products that use and are complementary to the Hedera network and the ecosystem.
I'm excited about this name change. This is cool.
All right, you guys. So you just heard Mance talk about why he's excited. I was trying to figure out what music was in the background. It sounds like that's like the original governing council video. It was really, really light. I thought there was music playing on my background, but hope you guys enjoy the video as well. Here's Lehman Barrett as well, the other original co-founder, and he's the one that actually created the Hashgraph. And then, of course, you can actually see down here. I wonder if it was on Mance's. No, it wasn't.
And the ecosystem.
I'm excited about this name change. This is cool.
So you guys can see the logo down here. So I do believe this is going to be, so it's going to be, basically it's transparent, right? It's actually see-through with the white sections, right? Looks kind of like a puzzle type of deal. So, and then of course it does create this outline impression. So very interesting. I think it looks pretty cool. This one looks better than the inverted one. Maybe it just has to do with the color scheme on X, since most people are on the what do you call it, night mode. I am as well, so that's probably why they did the black background with the white. But who knows? I don't know why they did it that way. I think it looks better this way personally. That's just my personal take. Let's hear what Lehman has to say.
So Hashgraph is a word the world knows. The Hashgraph consensus algorithm. I remember at the very first hackathon, we passed out t-shirts that said, "What is Hashgraph?" And people now know. Everybody knows what Hashgraph is. And I love that we're going full circle to make our name be Hashgraph. And really what we're talking about is recovering the original vision of shared worlds. The idea is that there isn't just one ledger. There's a million different little shared worlds, and anyone can wave their hand and carve out a piece of cyberspace and create their little shared world that's private. But then they all link to each other into the public ledger, and that we are able then to talk back and forth. And so this shows why things like bridges will be very important. It's critical that we be able to create these ledgers. You can create a ledger that's private, that's only in one country, only run by certain types of people. And then you can have Hedera is the public ledger, and then you can have them talking to each other. You can even imagine private ledgers that are temporary, like while you're playing a game, one is created during your game, and after an hour, it shuts down when your game ends. And then it talks back to the major ledger, the public ledger, and records things. So I love this idea that we are now coming full circle, and we will be able to do this now under the name of Hashgraph, which is exceedingly exciting to me.
I couldn't be more excited about building on the top.
All right, let me pause it before we get to Eric Passini. Shout out to Lehman. And anytime, obviously, we get videos from Lehman, from Mance, now Eric, right, Charles, and so on. I don't think I've seen Charles really in any videos yet. More content, right? I mean, this is what the community has been asking for, is looking for stronger branding, stronger marketing across the board, right? If this is the move, right, once the video is over, I'll kind of share a little bit of my thoughts further on, is this the right move? Is this a strong move right in the right direction? I think it could be, right? But we're going to talk more about that. So shout out to Lehman. I think he's really passionate about what he's sharing here, of course. And yeah, I mean, he makes pretty much anything he's talking about sound pretty bullish. So yeah, shout out to Lehman. Let's hear from Eric.
Graph, which is exceedingly exciting to me.
I couldn't be more excited about building on the top of the vision that Mance and Lehman set for us about 6 years ago. I want Hashgraph in the future to be a verb. I want people to say, did you Hashgraph your application, your business model, your idea? And together as an ecosystem, I know we can do that and push the limit of what can be built with the hash graph technology. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, and here you go. You can see the logo again. Super simple hash graph, right? No Hedera, no HBAR either. It's just straight up what the technology is. But yeah, Eric's super excited as well. Obviously, all three of them, just kind of the trifecta of what this ecosystem is, right? Moving forward. Eric Cosini, the CEO now of Hashgraph moving from Swirlds. So let me exit out here. It looks like it just reverted back to my main screen. Let me open up X once again. Let's reshare my screen here. But I'm pretty bullish on that video. Personally, again, they're super excited. They don't seem fake about how they're describing what's happening, this transition, right? You guys should be able to see my screen now. Again, make sure to join our HBAR Daily Show community. It's in my bio. If you want to come up to speak, share any insights today, any alpha, any news, anything you're working on, feel free to hit this link and join us here today. Friendly reminder, we do host shows Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. EST. The place to be in Web3. All right, it looks like the spaces that we were hosting, I don't know why it crashed. Maybe it's a bug or something. I know sometimes Samsung has bugs. So I don't know why it did that yesterday too. So if you guys were listening to the spaces, feel free to jump on over here on the broadcast so you can listen in and see live what we have going on. Appreciate all of you guys tuning in here today. And of course, don't forget to like and retweet if you find any of this content of value here today. So this is what Eric was saying, right? He just said it right here. I want Hashgraph in the future to be a verb, right? I want people to say, did you Hashgraph your application, your business model, your idea, right? He's the CEO of Hashgraph. So before I jump further in, here was like automatically, once I watched the video, this was like my initial like, how do I describe it? It's not cringe, but I'm trying to like figure out like, is it the best way forward? Right? I think it's worthwhile to ask questions like this because most people in Web3, most people just here in general, right? Here, give me 1 second. I'm gonna open this up. Okay, this is cool. It must be from Grok. Yeah, I want to use Grok more as well. There's some really cool stuff going on with that as well. But essentially, right, we have Hashgraph here. Let me just pause this so you can see it. We have Hashgraph, right, being basically the centerfold. I don't know, like this is essentially one of the governing council members, right? We have Swirlds transitioning into Hashgraph, right? The Hedera ecosystem, right? Hashgraph isn't Hedera, but Hedera has Hashgraph, right? Like there's just some very interesting semantics at play here now with this creation. And this is kind of like, I don't want to say against, but you guys all pretty much know what I mean, right? Like this is the complete opposite of what blockchain essentially stands for and like brings to the table semantically, right? In function, it's very similar and certain aspects are similar for sure. And just kind of how it looks at the end of the day is probably similar as well with use cases and so on. But scalability, security, right? Speed, all that. Obviously, Hashgraph is superior from what I understand, right? But there's other DAGs, right? So like Hashgraph is another type of DAG, right? So it's very interesting that if there's going to be other hash graphs or graphs like that, very similarly, I don't know if people would get confused in any capacity. And then on top of, I mean, I heard plenty of people talking about this, right? Like, was it a mistake in marketing? Was it an oversight of marketing, right? To say, goodbye blockchain, hello Hashgraph, right? Like that marketing stance, right? That initiative. Is that positive? Is that going to be something strong enough for companies and people in general that are developing here in Hedera, in Web3 overall, to make the decision to come over, right? Because most people are still struggling to understand what blockchain is and figure out what it is. And then now we're implementing, right, something completely different. Technically, there are blocks on Hedera, so technically you can call it a blockchain, but there's a reason, right? I mean, Hashgraph is something inherently different by function, right, to a blockchain, right? So at the end of the day, I think at least initially, which again, for better for worse, initially it is going to cause friction on the way this space is perceived, the way new devs are onboarded, right? Because Solidity is the #1 coding language or let's just say not coding language, but is the most built upon form of a language, if you will, right? With smart contracts here in Web3 still, right? I think Rust with Solana is probably pretty high up there now as well. A lot of people are using Solana and whatever other chains, right? Probably Avalanche and so on. So very, very interesting developments and in the decision to go this route as well. Like I don't want to sit here and say it's a bad decision. I don't necessarily believe that, but I do believe that the headwinds because it is because of this decision with this in particular, because they are one of the spots. I think this is the spot that will always stay on the governing council. It's just an interesting decision. I think we have to watch just with anything that happens here in Hedera, right? We're gonna have to continue to watch how this plays out in terms of bringing on new people. Because if this succeeds and we succeed here in Hedera, I mean, there's not really the biggest bull case for anything that's calling itself a blockchain, from what I understand on how it works, right? Like this is kind of like the definitive like claim, like plant, like flag in the sand, right? Like, hey, we are this, like we are doing this, we're called this, the community's doing this, right? And what this is a hash graph, a distributed ledger technology, right? That does this, this, and this, right? And we do it better, right? That's where let me go to let me go find one of Hedera's posts really quick. Those are posts that I commented on. They don't have a ton of posts, so I should be able to find it. Here, give me 1 second to find it here. It was on the 8th. I think it was. Let's see. Let me find it so you guys can kind of just see my I guess they do make a decent amount of posts, but I think we need more. Uh, let's see. Where is it at? Come on, don't tell me I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it was on the 8th. I think they let the intern jump on it here. Maybe it's the 9th or something. Right here, the 10th. There you go. I was a couple days off. When it comes to building a greener, more sustainable future built on Web3, there is no second best. Choose Hedera, right? Like if Hedera believes this, if the governing council believes this, if every single community leader and dev believe this, and this is true, right? If this is the facts, this is real, right? Okay, well, I mean, we gotta basically, you guys have probably heard this term at this point, right? Gotta stand on business, right? Gotta choose Hedera. There's no second best, right? Like if we're calling a spade, right? We're calling it as it is, sharing the alpha as it is, right? Like, okay, well, you know what? We got to make more content like this. The community will rally around it. I thought I already retweeted it, but liking, retweeting, quote retweeting, and so on, right? Like this is, I'm pretty sure I quoted it at some point. I don't know why it's not showing. Or maybe I got to click on the actual post here. Let me see. Oh, maybe it's because I quote retweeted it. There you go. I guess it doesn't count as a retweet when you quote retweet it. Here you go. I said this, right? There is no second best. Choose Hedera, right? Like these are the kind of posts, and I'm pretty sure some people probably quote retweeted this one as well. Which again, if you guys are quote retweeting, right, I'm gonna go and like and retweet all of your posts as well. James Cook, if you're not first, you're last. Yeah, I mean, you guys know how it goes, but yeah, we need more content like this from Hedera. You can see all the people, right? I mean, you can see all the H barbarians quoting it, taking it, right, and just seeing the movement being pushed, right? And I haven't seen any posts like that since the 10th. So we're talking 14. Literally, that was 2 weeks ago to today, basically, right? Whatever today, Wednesday, right? So I mean, we gotta see more content on that end, right? But in terms of Hashgraph, I'll just kind of end my spiel here. It is going to be quite the headwinds in terms of adoption, because most people are thinking of blockchain adoption, not Hashgraph adoption. I do think there's a distinction there. Arguably, there is. And then, of course, there's a distinction on how to build, how to hear about it, right? In terms of marketing, why I'm even harping on Hedera making more content, right? We need more interns, whatever that looks like, right, for them. We need more of that, right? Because if we are going to fight this uphill battle being called Hashgraph, at least Worlds in particular, right, to onboard. We need as much marketing as possible for what Hashgraph is, right? So again, we're investing, we're buying HBARs on Hedera, right? It's called Hedera at the end of the day. But the basically the founding governing council member, the one that won't ever change, right, is going to be called Hashgraph at the end of the day. So again, it is going to be very, very interesting to see how this all plays out. But I do stand firmly that there's going to be a decent amount of headwinds, just because this is in some capacity, right? I don't want to use the word antithesis, but this is basically like the antithesis to a blockchain, right? I've heard plenty of blockchains, been in other spaces talking with them about Hedera, right? And they basically said they're scared of Hedera, right? They don't want to see Hedera succeed, and they're going to do everything they can, right, to not talk about it, right? Like, it is something that supersedes a lot of the other technology that is out there at the end of the day, right? There was an interview with Paul Barron on YouTube as well. If I could find it, I'll show you guys pretty soon. But let's jump on this one. That interview with Mance, I thought was really well done, and yeah, I guess I'll touch on it now. Let me see if I can find it really quick. Let's see here. You guys can see all the H barbarians that I'm trying to like. Any of you guys making videos, right? Phil, I see Hello Future Buzz, Saucy Girl saying HBAR is the trend. We're cooking with gas now. That was one of the posts that I had made the other day as well in the community. Shout out to Saucy Girl. Shout out to Phil. HBAR walk. When I talk, when I walk, right? Do not capitulate. Keep on pushing. Shout out to Phil.
Man, this morning. This is really great news. I think the name slaps. It's great, right? And that's the name of the entity, so that's really great. I think that's cool. It's going to be awesome for branding, better for names, brand awareness, brand recognition also. So shout out to this, man. It's already a great week.
Shout out to Phil. That was a lot of yeah, brother. Appreciate you. All the content you continue to create. I am looking for the YouTube. Oh, we are going to cover this, by the way, and then we might cover the minutes later in this episode. If not, we'll cover, because we didn't cover the March and April minutes yet. So we'll see if we cover that. But I do want to show you guys this graphic. Where is the YouTube channel at, so I can show you guys? Or here it is. There you go. Shout out to Mance and the interview. I thought it went well. I did watch it. It was like 25 minutes, something like that. Very, very interesting interview. Basically, if you guys are not going to watch it, you're not going to take the time to watch it. In a nutshell, essentially what was said was, I mean, to me, the most important thing was Mance was just talking about how this space is not going to really move forward that much without, like, in terms of just liquidity and just mass developers and enterprises seriously injecting liquidity and buying outside of like ETFs. He was basically just talking about how regulations, right? And I've been saying this for such a long time at this point, but he keeps talking about, you know, regulatory compliance, security measures, and so on, right? Which was essentially what we covered yesterday on the show, right? We talked about how the governing council has to make sure that they are compliant and up to date with everything that's going on and standard practices on the regulatory side, right? That was in the May to June minutes, right? That's incredibly important. And we have an organization with Hashgraph now, right? That was Swirls before. We have all these governing council members, right? If they are looking seriously with Charles to implement tokenized use cases on Hedera, okay, in a regulatory compliance environment, right? If that's the way to go moving forward, which obviously it is. I think Hedera, again, I was giving you guys some technical analysis. We'll cover that here today as well, towards the end of the show. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna see some crazy stuff. It's just, are you willing to be patient, or are you gonna focus on the people making posts saying you're getting dumped on, right? Like the network only has like, okay, 50 billion tokens in total. I think something around 35 to 40 billion are out currently, right? It's in that range. More tokens are currently unlocking, right, or getting distributed, right, or being sold, right? But there's only so many tokens left that would be distributed, right? And some people are saying, like, like I don't want to have anything to do with that, right? Sell all that kind of stuff. It's like, look, like you're serious about the regulatory landscape of this ecosystem and the future of this ecosystem as well, understanding where it's heading, where all these major corporations, especially the newer governing council members, right, where they have to have a use case or have an idea for a use case to join the governing council, like those are massive milestones and step forward, and obviously, arguably successful. How do I word it? Like successful points, right, for the Hedera ecosystem, right? So, being patient, we're literally talking about it and speculating pretty much every day at this point, but seeing the breadcrumbs start to just fall. If you see all the puzzle pieces falling together, right? All the minutes, we got to read up on the other minutes here. But again, super bullish, super exciting to see what's going on here in the ecosystem. And yeah, I couldn't be more excited. So yeah, go check out the Paul Barron interview with Mance. But that's pretty much, to me, that was the most important thing that he said. They also talked about a Hedera ETF potentially. Mance, I don't remember his exact response, to be honest. I watched it a few hours ago. But he was optimistic, and he said before any of that happens, he was just talking about regulation. So Mance definitely deferred a lot more to regulations, which he kind of always has, to be honest, in his interviews. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think he's just being super truthful with that. So again, shout out to Paul Barron and his interviews as well. You guys, if you haven't tuned into that channel ever, I have. He does a bunch of cross-chain interviews and so on. So it's good to see him having HBAR, Hedera, and Mance on as well. All right, so let's see what we should jump on next here. Of course, you guys can see all of the shows live here on the side. Of course, these are all cross-chain spaces. Ethereum, Bitcoin, right? This is Solana and Solana, right? And you can see all the shows here as well and see where HBAR stands here with our community. I mean, I don't think we're that much further off from continuing to grow and come together as a community. So shout out to all of you guys liking and retweeting our show here today. It's the best way to support without, of course, donating or any financial aspects. And of course, anyone that is supporting us via sponsorships as well, massive shout out to you. We have some sponsors coming online in August. Super excited to unveil them very, very soon. And of course, we have our current sponsor on Mondays and Wednesday shows with Gilmore Estates here. Go check out what they're doing, tokenizing real estate on Hedera, and go check out their token GC as well. Go shoot them a follow as well at Gilmore_Estates here on X as well. All right, you guys, let's jump back to the broadcast, shall we? So let's do, I think we'll focus a little bit on the governing council still for a little bit here. Let me find the post, and then we'll talk about Karate Combat. Karate Combat the event is tomorrow around the time of our show. So we'll definitely do some live streaming. We'll talk about it during the show as well and see how that show turns out as well. I'm really excited for the event. I'm sure it's going to be an absolute banger. I'm sure Only LARPing and everyone that's tuning in, especially going live as well, are going to absolutely knock it out of the park. And I cannot wait for that show in Tennessee. All right. So this is super fascinating. I think it's honestly really bullish, to be honest. So these are all the governing council meetings. There's been 5 since the beginning of this year: February, March, April, May, and June. So I think we have 3 or 4 of these minutes. I think some of them were put together. So again, we covered June's governing council minutes yesterday. So if you missed our show yesterday, just scroll through my profile and you can find our show where I unpacked the minutes. I think they're really bullish personally. Not everyone agrees. That's totally fine. I think hear my honest take as to why. So here's something super fascinating, right? So we have, I thought we had 32. So it looks like 2 are missing or something. I'm not sure what that's all about. But essentially we have the 30, right, governing council members here again, or maybe, oh, you know what? I don't know, Swirls is right here. So I don't know. Now it's called Hashgraph, right? I don't know why it's only showing 30, but again, the beginning of the year, right? 5 meetings. Here's something fascinating, right? Wipro, Ubisoft, DBS just left, right? Chainlink, EDF, Ubisoft, Wipro, right? So these 5 companies, they have not attended the last 5, which I think there should be like a minimum of like, hey, if you didn't attend the last 3, you could potentially lose your spot or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's something that has to be decided on this kind of scale. But look at this. I mean, how many is this? 14. So that's about 50%, 100% attendance, right? That's incredible. Massive shout out to all these companies, right? Like, that's amazing. Now we have, what is this? 23. So 23 of the 32, right? Which is like 60-70% of the entire governing council only miss 1. Like that, I didn't know this, right? This is just great to see it on a chart like this. To me, it's a super bullish as well. Even if you miss 1, I mean, it happens. You know, I don't know. Obviously, it'd be perfect if everyone just met all of them, right? I know that's not possible. But seeing even the newer companies, right, like Mondelez coming on board, that's incredibly bullish. I hope to see this level of engagement, especially this year, right? Coming out of the bear market, going into the bull run, like if we're going to get this high of attendance from this many, at least 50%, and then potentially 60 to 75%, with missing maybe 1 every 5 meetings, like 80%. This is 80%, this is 100%, right? And then of course, 2, which was quite low, right? That's 40%. We don't want to see this, right? So basically, if we just did 23 to 1, right? So we have about 20-ish strong companies very much interested in what's going on, right? And involved and active. Arguably, that's obviously that's really good, right? Ubisoft barely meets and goes to any of the meetings for various reasons, right? I don't know why. I'm not gonna dig into Ubisoft too much or harp on them, right? As like a company and where they stand in the gaming world, right? Just I don't even know why they came on the council, to be honest. I don't know how that works. I gotta go find. Maybe I should go look at the minutes and see if there's anything I could dig up as to why they joined the governing council. I doubt personally that any of these companies are joining the governing council just for clout. I don't think that makes a lot of sense, but who knows, right? I don't know what the purpose of some of these companies, what they were doing, right? Because some of them were on for years, right? Now, if they didn't go to any meetings, did they get paid? Are they paid only when they show up, right? Like, those are a lot of questions I'd like to have answers to. I don't have them currently. Ideally, they're not paid when they don't show up, right? That's also something I think makes a lot of sense. If they are paid, I think that would be really unfortunate. For our ecosystem, Chainlink, of course, we'd like to see them showing up. I don't know what that's all about, why they wouldn't. GBS left, EDF and Wipro, I don't know a ton as to why they maybe wouldn't show up either, or just what's going on with that. Tata, Nomura, I've seen them. They've had a pretty decent attendance in general. So again, arguably a lot of the governing council is still very much so active. Now, in terms of what they are bringing to the table, use case wise and what's going on online, again, if we have this type of attendance, this type of engagement over just this year alone, since the start of the year, this makes me incredibly bullish on what the governing council could do once they do start going live with use cases. If this is what the governing council look like, these right here, a majority, I'd be very much concerned about the state of Hedera, and I'd be pretty upset. Not gonna lie, I'd probably have a much smaller bag of HBARs. Personally, if this was the standard of the governing council, but clearly that is not the case at all. So, who is this? Quiz Cook, shout out to you. I thought I was following you. If I'm not, then I just shot you a follow. Make sure to go shoot him a follow, or her. I don't know who it is, but yeah, shout out to the graphic as well. I'm not sure if you made it or copied and pasted, but shout out to you. Appreciate the post. And of course, Karate Combat tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in. Let me see if I can find any specific posts on it to show you guys for tomorrow. Here's our post.
8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Wow, that pit. Oh, look at this. It's finally there. Look at that. We've been waiting for it. Oh, can I zoom in? Hold on. Oh, you guys have no idea. I'm so excited. What is that? Oh, you guys can't see me blowing up the image, can you? Dang. Okay, well, I can't make the image any bigger, unfortunately. Not sure what that's all about, but you guys should be able to, if you zoom in, you should be able to see Built on Hedera. Built on Hedera. There it is. I don't know what this little symbol is. Not sure what that is, but Built on Hedera. We made it happen. It's happening. We out here. Awesome. Okay. Let me zoom out because I blew up my screen way too much. So it looks like also Postmaster is here, I believe, at the weigh-ins. So I believe he said he'll do some live streaming there. So make sure to go check him out. Go check out his account. So let me see. A bunch of people are going to this event this year or this month. Let's see. Make sure to go check out their spaces. Those are spaces for Bitcoin Nashville, Tennessee. Go check it out. I listened to a little bit of it this morning as well.
Conference next week. In what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? PO here with another fight analysis video ahead of Karate Combat at the Bitcoin conference next week in Nashville. You do not want to miss one. We are breaking down one of the main event fights of the night. This is Harley Hermanson against Eric Velli. What a barn burner this should be. Let's dive right into it. So I want to first break down this picture of Harley. The dude's completely tatted, so you know that there's some kind of pain tolerance and there's some kind of edge to him, I'd say. That does not natively mean that you are good at martial arts, but I feel like I'd be remiss to not point it out. Look at this little duck, this little roll right here. Check this out. This is the best technique I've seen in the whole thing. He throws a little 1-2 roll and then a 2. The 2 was not perfect on the back end of it, but I really liked how smooth that roll was. It looks like.
All right, so I won't play the whole video, but essentially, right, there's a lot to talk about when diving into these fighters this week in Kraken. I'm not sure what Kraken, I don't know what Kraken has to do with it, if they're sponsoring or something, but Influencer Fight Club, right? So IFC, I mean, it's only going to get more intense, arguably, right? We're seeing more and more content creators that have literally nothing to do with Hedera start to fixate on Karate Combat, the Karate Token, Influencer Fight Club, and cover it, right? Which, again, we literally just saw right up here. You guys don't remember, maybe you're just tuning in. It happened, right? It finally happened. We made it happen. Built on Hedera is on the map. And guess what? After this event, more and more people are going to ask questions, come over to Hedera and figure out how to use Karate Combat app because of these fights every single time, right? So this is history, right? It just says Hedera on the mat with the logo. That is old news. That is the past. 10 reasons to be bullish on Karate Combat and Karate Token, world's first fight league, tokenized fight league governed by its fans, built and powered on Hedera. Shout out to Jack Timothy for his thread. I thought he did a great job. Go shoot it a like and retweet. Go check it out. I think that he did a great job on it. Yeah, I mean, you guys can just see all the news. The venue looks absolutely incredible. Again, massive shout out to Only LARPing. If you're listening, well done, brother. Well done to everyone there and involved as well. I think it's going to be absolutely legendary, and each event is only going to get better and better. And then here's the little teaser for Samurai. So this is the first time I saw it earlier today. First time I saw Samurai Saga ever. Probably should shoot them a follow as well. Epic Battles. You guys can see open world combat games. So it looks like it's here to promote or work and collaborate with Karate Combat. Looks pretty cool. I'm not sure where you can play it at or what, but we're gonna have to look deeper into it in a future episode here. But it looks like Karate Combat retweeted it, so very, very interesting. I'm very much excited for this fight, to be honest. The Sam Alvey and oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name here. Arroyo. I don't remember his first name, to be honest. But super excited. My first ever Karate Combat event that I watched, I believe, was the Mexico City or one of the Mexico City, I think. And they fought each other as the final card match. It was awesome. And I think it went to a no contest, as I remember. But it was awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing this fight once again. They will be rematching here tomorrow. So again, which fight are you most excited for this Thursday? And again, built on Hedera. And tomorrow is going to be an amazing opportunity for the ecosystem. Perhaps I'll make a post tomorrow. Be looking out for my account. Make sure to go turn on notifications if you don't have my notifications on already. Tomorrow arguably is a prime time, and I think every single Karate Combat event, to be honest, should be a prime time to be able to create posts, create content, get the word out, right? That Karate Combat is built on Hedera, powered by Hedera. And of course, we have a amazing, vibrant community here pushing the ecosystem forward and talking about what's going on. And of course, our use cases as well. All right, here's another YouTube channel that I just found out about. I thought the content's pretty good. It looks like it's in French. You're gonna have to translate or put the captions on. I did try listening to a little bit of it, but it looks like Danny EID did listen to it. So this lady, Monique Moreau, she is the chief technology strategist, I'm assuming at Worlds or now Hashgraph. I looked at her profile. I didn't see where specifically, but I'd assume at one of the organizations with Hedera. So Hedera board member Monique reveals to Miss Crypto GER about the brand new Force for Good, right? Group. We talked about it yesterday, right? In the latest minutes, this Force for Group philanthropic initiative is being headed up by Monique Morrow. So make sure to go shoot her a follow, go stay up to date with what's going on, see if you can reach out to her as well. But that's very, very amazing to hear more and more details, right? And more people coming out talking about what they're building, what they're doing here in the ecosystem, right? This is what we've been building towards and waiting for, right? Stablecoins ready to be published year end in collaboration with Vodafone and more. So I haven't listened to the whole thing yet, mainly because it was in French and I didn't want to just sit and read the subtitles the whole time. I don't know French personally. So yeah, super interesting. Go shoot Miss Crypto GER follow as well. She has some other HBAR related content, which I think is great. We need more HBAR content creators in our ecosystem as well. All right, you guys, we're going to start winding down the space here. If you are a developer, anyone that wants to build here in Hedera, there is a hackathon going on live. Make sure to go register, go jump in. There's a bunch of prizes, right? 300K in prizes to be won across 5 different tracks. Make sure to go jump in, build the unimaginable here on Hedera. All right, let's see what some of the final content. Of course, shout out to Hashpack. Go check out their thread. Go check out what they are doing and some of the newest pack features. There always seems to be some new features coming out for Hashpack. It's very hard to keep up, but they are absolutely killing it. Top 3 tokens by holders. Shout out to Tierbot with their analytics. Karate, TuneFM, and Sauce leading the way by token holders amounts. You can see Karate, what is it, Jam, and what's it, Jam? TuneFM is Jam, right? And then Sauce, right? So massive. I mean, it's not really even a comparison. I mean, it's absolutely. I had no idea there was that many holders of Karate Combat. So if it's that much more, I'm curious how much it's grown over the last month, like per event, right? But that's a massive amount. I'm really curious how many of those are on Hedera. I'd assume this is all on Hedera. So Cantor, if you're listening, do let me know if any of this is a massive jump from the last month, and if these are all, at least Karate Combat in particular, token holders, is indicative of Hedera in particular. Shout out to Wraith. We'll have him on the show very, very soon. If you guys don't know Wraith, WraithX specifically, he built this awesome Hedera integrated Discord Rumble bot go check out Discord Rumble. He had one for 750 HBAR earlier. We had like something like 50 something people join. A bunch of you guys joined. Yeah, go turn on notifications, go join. There's a bunch more prizes and giveaways still going on for what Wraith has built here in Hedera, and we'll interview him very soon as well. So shout out to Wraith. I've known him for a long time. I think he's a good dude in the ecosystem here. Really excited to see what he continues to do here. Da Vinci Graph, Hedera maintenance on fire. Over 60 billion transactions, processing over 1,500 TPS. Even the Tesla is humming along as well. So you guys can see Hedera is definitely not slowing down in any capacity at all. All right, let's see what is the final post to end the show here. This is the YouTube channel that I was talking about earlier with the philanthropic group for good, right? So yeah, go check it out. She doesn't have a link, but if you go click on her link tree, it'll be the YouTube channel will be there as well. All right, let's conclude the show here. Oh, here's the logo as well, right? Oh yeah, this is a really good way to start concluding the show here. So this logo, right? This is the symbol that I was talking about. I think this looks great. I mean, have a little bit more purple, a little bit more contrasted, right? Maybe this glows a little bit more. Just have it pop a little bit, right? Like this on CoinMarketCap. Obviously, now everyone has to disagree, and a lot of people are really set on the H, right? Which is fine. But this, I think, could have a lot of potential. Depending on how it looks, right? Especially if it's animated or something, right? Could be something really cool to stand out, right? From other cryptos, right? A lot of people kind of dog on the H for various reasons. And it looks like other brands have the H too, which is really interesting. I won't talk about them too much, but very, very interesting, right? So I think it's an interesting development to say the least. Sarah Hale, if you guys don't know Sarah, she is the new CMO of Hashgraph, right? Hedera. So she is the person we were talking about that didn't have an X account. Now she does. So make sure to go shoot her a follow. Go maybe turn her notifications on. I'm really excited to network with her and see what she is going to do here in the ecosystem as the chief marketing officer. It's a new day and a new brand identity. Thrilled to say hello, Hashgraph. Super excited to see what Sarah is going to be up to very soon. All right, let me just, shout out to Birdman and his TA as well. I think he does a pretty good job. All right, let's jump over to some TA. Let me actually update the website, see where we are here today before we end the show. Again, don't forget to like and retweet the show here today. Best way to show your support to our show here today. All right, the greed and fear index at 60, so it's still relatively close, relatively high into the greed. Let's open Bitcoin up here. I'll open the trading view up in 1 second. Once it loads, you guys can see my screen. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in here today. This show wouldn't be anything without every single one of you tuning in every single day. All right, let me open up trading view. Let's fire up some indicators. All right, let's move off the daily. I don't trade off daily personally. All right, still looks good on the weekly. Nothing's really changed. We did have a bounce right here, which is interesting. I mean, you can't really, it's pretty textbook, right? You can't really make this up. Pretty much a bounce rejected right here, currently right on the 15th. So basically last week, a little bit over a week ago, right? So we're going to have to continue to watch to see if we have any more bounces till we get to the upside. Same thing up here. We got to confirm above the 50 level. We're close. We're not there just yet. This candle, right? We're at 65K in this range. This candle hasn't closed just yet. I think it's actually a newer candle, right? It's the weekly. This candle just opened. So this candle could really go anywhere. Let's see the monthly. Yeah, same thing, right? July is going to end very, very soon in the next week or so. So August, right? Somewhere around here, I've been saying, right? August, we're going to see some form of a cross. The RSI is pretty decently high already, so which is good. You want it to be above the yellow. You want it to be above 50. We might have to see a new all-time high to confirm this trajectory, right? And also, I've said this before. This color pattern right here, this purple inside, is not the the markers that I trade in. This is just whatever's on the computer. My markers are actually up here in the 80 range. So it needs to be actually above here to be like crazy, crazy bullish. So again, Bitcoin's going to have to do some very interesting confirmations. We're not there yet. The blue is going to have to cross above the orange. This is going to have to cross probably above here, to be honest, for the RSI. So we're going to have to keep watching it. We're going to keep seeing what is to come of this market. And I'll let you guys know my honest take as to where we are headed with Bitcoin. And of course, wherever Bitcoin is headed, chances are Hedera is going to be close behind as well. It's a bullish hammer candle, which is good, a good signal to the upside on the monthly candle. Let's open up HBAR. Give me 1 second here. All right, HBAR. Looks like we are sitting at 0.066 cents here. The RSI needs to be a bit higher. We need to see a bounce. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? We need to see a bounce. September will probably be when this RSI, stochastic RSI, crosses up again. Nothing's really changed too much on the fundamentals. We need to see the price go up a bit for this to become an actual hammer, right? So again, very, very interesting. I think we're just going to continue to see more consolidation until we see an actual cross, and the cross is probably going to be triggered and catalyzed by Bitcoin in particular. However, Bitcoin decides to run in the very near future as well. Oh, look at this. So the Bitcoin ribbon just splashed bullish. I personally feel just some big shifts are about to happen. I could be completely wrong and it takes another till next summer, right? But I just have a feeling. I can just kind of feel. I've been in this market long enough to kind of just watch and see. I have a pretty good feeling that we are going to cross up, right? For Bitcoin, let me open TradingView up one more time. Right here, I do believe we are going to cross in this range. And blue will cross over orange. We're going to have to see where that goes. Hopefully it doesn't get rejected. It comes back down, which again, if it does, then we'll probably see next summer. We'll see you in next summer, essentially, right? So we see the next actual leg up. We'll see more consolidation, probably even some downside into the 40s. So again, we're going to continue to call it. I'm going to let you guys know my honest takes and opinions for in the show here today. I appreciate everyone tuning in here today. There's a ton of alpha that was covered. If you missed any of the show, feel free to go back and listen in here today. As always, our shows are recorded. You can listen back to all the alpha that we have here today. Again, massive shout out to our sponsor here today, Gilmore Estates. Go shoot them a follow. Redefining real estate. Learn and earn on their platform. Invest in tokenized properties. Learn in the metaverse built on Hedera. And of course, they are tokenizing real estate here on Hedera. Massive shout out to our sponsor here today. And if any of you are interested in sponsoring our show here, make sure to shoot me a DM on X. All right, you guys, much love. I appreciate everyone tuning in here today. And I will catch you all tomorrow for our Thursday HBAR daily show. And with that, I'll catch you all tomorrow. Much love, you guys. Peace.